Well, here I am, everybody. Hello, good to see you back in the garage on a Sunday. And I want to first of all say thank you very much to many, many people. You've all been saying, where the hell's Andy on Sunday night? Well, here I am. It's been a bit of a funny time behind the scenes. There's been a lot going on personally and with work and everything else. And as I tried to explain to people in a live I did the other day, my head just kind of exploded. And I had to kind of reevaluate a few of the things that I was doing with YouTube and work and just step back and have a little bit of a recharge. And unfortunately, that included stepping away from these lives. Now, what it was as well, there was an awful lot of work going on in the background with my airport business. A lot of Sundays where I had to, spend time with that, and it was hard, but it's okay. I'm back now. I've been looking at different things with the channel, what's going on everywhere, the numbers, what we're going to do, the lives, everything. And it really is ticking away very nicely. Now, I want to just say hello to a quick few people, and there's some things I want to show you, personal nature. Gary Davis, 100,000 by the time this starts. We will see. Hello, Chris. Minge Pump. Have you changed the font name on your screen handle? I like that. I like that. Negu Mums Against the Child Snatchers. Hello to you. I did see your message on, I think it was Instagram the other day. I keep meaning to try and get round to talking to you. I will do. Cosmic Wartoad. Hello. Good to see you. Lord Jim Dandy. It's all the regulars in the house. This is great, isn't it? I bugger off for ages. Come back and you're all still here. Hey. Julie Baldwin. Hello. Good to see you. I was just talking to you. Evening, everyone. Great to see Andy back doing Sunday live streams. I've missed them big time. Thank you very much, Richie. I do appreciate that, and I will be back here on a Sunday. You know, there will be occasions where it may not happen, but I will get here as much as I can, definitely. Lord Jim Dandy, you mentioned the S word. You wait. Tad, hello. Good to see you. Richie was said hello to. Blood Nose moderating in the background as usual. I appreciate that. Stuart, Jean-Marc, Morris's Monkey, all the usuals. Great to see everybody. Wonderful. And my signal quality indicator has just dumped itself. So I hope that the live will continue. I've got one child on an Xbox at the moment playing Grand Theft Auto, and another child on an Xbox playing Fortnite, I think. So I hope that they haven't nicked all of the bandwidth off of me. That would be a bit of a pain. Well, it's very interesting what's happening this evening. Yep, frozen. Pick is crap, but we still hear you. Yes, it's the signal indicator, and it's just got stronger now, so I should be okay. But we'll see how we muddle on. I see my mum's in the house. Yeah, a little while ago, quite a while ago now, I was sent this in the post. Many of you that have been with the channel for a long time will see it. It was Andy the Gabby Cabby, 50,000 subscribers. Well done. It was from somebody that runs a trophy shop, and they decided to do that for me. And I was, quite touched and very grateful. Well, looking at the channel before I actually came live with everybody, I found this 99,983 subscribers. So I only need 17 more. Yes, 17 to reach that magic milestone of 100,000. Can you believe it? 4 years I've been at this, pretty much full time, sitting in this garage, sitting in my car, walking around the streets, talking to people about everything that I had an opinion on, and forming this community. It's been absolutely wonderful. And we're nearly there, nearly 100,000. I'm excited. If you haven't done so already, give me a hand and get there, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get them numbers boosted up. And obviously, please hit the like button, as Kathy's just said. I very much appreciate it. Now, Factual Breakdown sent me an email the other day expressing some concerns about somebody. Now, there's a member of the channel, Lord Jim Dandy. I subbed when you had 60. Yeah, you've been with me a very long time. I really appreciate your support. I know we had a little ding dong a little while ago, but that's ancient history. And, I'm glad you're here and along for the ride, and it's been great. Yeah, Factual Breakdown, absolutely. And another one of my long-term supporters as well. Yeah, with what we've built up here, there's loads of people that come in, loads of people that talk, and it's like a little bit of a community. And there's regular names all of the time, and some of them drop off. You don't see them. I mean, I know there's certain names here which are absent for whatever reason. A couple I've tried to reach out to and say, "Hey, are you okay?" Because some people are a little bit older than most. Now, Factual Breakdown emailed me and said that she was concerned about someone she'd not seen for a long time, and their name was Hugh McBeath. Used to be, if I've said that right, used to be a fairly regular subscriber to the channel and a regular contributor, and it's one that's just disappeared, and we don't know if he's okay. I know he had some problems, so if he does end up watching this, please get in touch with either Factual Breakdown or myself. Ian One, Paz put me on to you. Yeah, I want to give a good big shout out to Paz. He's been a friend of mine behind the scenes. We talk pretty much every day, really. And he put a nice shout out on his page to me saying, I'm nearly there. Come along and say hello, kind of thing. That's very much appreciated. I've got lots of friends on YouTube, and it's great with the support. And if you play it right and everything, you can have a wonderful time. Mick Hardstaff, I see your comment. I do appreciate seeing you here. Another one of my long-term supporters and long-distance friends. And Mick has had a few problems getting his comments actually seen by anybody at all on here. But I've seen more of him lately, so maybe things are starting to turn a corner. I've been Cosmic Wartoad. I didn't disappear. I've been hanging out on Kim Justice's live stream. Oh, okay. I noticed there's a few YouTubers with live streams this evening, all around the same time. So I wasn't quite sure how that was going to pan out, but there you go. I've lost my train of thought. Yes, that happens, doesn't it? Yeah, there's a few things that I wanted to go through. I'll just have a look here. Where are we? Yeah, I've just a couple of bits of news, and then we will have a chat. I want to make sure that 9 o'clock on Sundays seems to be yours is the best live stream. Thank you, Jean-Marc. I appreciate that. I want to make sure that 9 o'clock on Sundays is the key, is the good time, because it's good for me. I can just come out here and do it, and no problem at all. And also, if you want any other things on the channel, if you want to change anything or do anything at all, please let me know. I'm trying to sort out some other stuff in the background. So somebody had a bit of a pop at me the other day saying I should stop talking about politics, and I did a video on that. And I said, we need to get interested in this because it governs what's going on in our everyday lives. They're making decisions that affects all of us. I mean, how many in the chat, give me a one if it was the case, was getting the winter fuel payment? What they've suddenly taken off all the pensioners. How many of you were getting that, I wonder? I've just had a message from one of my friends that says they're about as well. So hello to the friend that's just messaged me. Good to see you. Okay. There's a few of you that have been done over by this. I mean, he's saying, isn't he, that it's one of those difficult decisions to make, and he knows it's difficult, and it was a case of tough, and he tried to intimate and tried to say that if he didn't, or if they didn't make that decision, then the British economy would be in an awful lot of trouble. Right? Okay. Well, what about all the money that you're throwing away overseas? Billions here, billions there, billions everywhere. It just seems to be all these pet projects all the time, doesn't it? Uh, where they're chucking their money to, and it's their own citizens, us, which are being left on the scrap heap. It's always the same. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a bit sick of it. Now, one of the major issues that we have is the fact that we have all of these people coming across to the into this country, and undocumented, and that's another area where money is getting thrown. Now, I just want to play a little video to do with the winter fuel payments, and it's a hell of an excuse. Listen to this, and we'll discuss and critique.
Of course, people who receive the winter fuel allowance, who will no longer receive it, would be aggrieved about that. Anyone would be in their shoes. But I just say to my colleagues, these aren't just tough decisions for the Chancellor to take. These are tough choices for all of us to take with her. We have got to fix the foundations of the public finances. Without that, we will not get back to growth. We will not get back to prosperity. We will not be able to rebuild our public services, and we will not be able to build a better future for our country. And to those people who are aggrieved and are emailing in and texting in now, or kind of yelling at the radio as they listen to me, we're not doing this because we want to. We are doing this because we feel we have to, given the state of the public finances we inherited. We are taking the tough choices now so we can build a brighter future tomorrow. And you would not forgive us if we duck the political choices now to keep you happy, but then you were stung with a bill down the line, paying the price for our failure.
Well, I'm sorry, but, credit to the left, LBC. We'll call them LBC, although I want to call them something else. I'm sorry, but we've been stung with bills for an awful long time now because of your blatant incompetence. And they're using the same line, what we inherited. Well, pardon me, but in 2010, when the Conservatives and the Lib Dems had their little coalition fancy party, they inherited a bit of a mess off of your predecessors. So you go through time blaming each other for your own cluster fucks, basically, and we're getting nowhere. Now, they're saying they need to fix the foundations, and they're saying that, we need to, shore things up while we still can, before anyone ends up with a big bill. And I say again, how much wastage is there? What are you spending your money on? Where are you throwing it at? And who are you sending it to? Who in this country is going without because you can't see past the end of your noses that there are big problems here and we need support too? It's the same old garbage. And it sounds like austerity 2.0 staring us down the face. We've got a budget coming up fairly soon, haven't we? I think the end of October or something like that. And there's very big fears that they're going to introduce a raft of measures, including tax rises, messing around with things like VAT, basically everything. And all it's going to do is drive the wealth overseas. And with the wealth goes businesses, and with the businesses goes jobs. Can't they see what they're doing? And then you'll end up with a load of people reliant on the state. Maybe that's the point. I don't know. I mean, one fairly famous millionaire, he was a plumber at some point. Here we go. Britain's richest plumber, Charlie Mullins, put his £12 million penthouse up for sale as he flees Britain to avoid a Labour tax raid. I sent Paz a private message earlier, and I said to him, I think Labour might have done us a favour in that case. But it's just an example of, the kind of crap, really, that it's going to cause, it's going to end up breaking this country sooner or later. Absolutely. Factual breakdown. Charlie's going to Monaco, eh? He's probably got a house there already, hasn't he? Sylvia Spatman, good evening to you. Welcome to the chat. Hope you are well. And, there's lots of the regulars here. That's great. One of the YouTubers I've been following is Paul Thorpe. And I've got him on my phone and exchanged a couple of messages with him. And Paul Thorpe is very much about community unity. We have to come together. We have to support each other to, get through these times ahead. And we can't go out kicking off and everything else because they will just turn on us. And we've already seen scenes on the streets. We've seen people going to prison for voicing an opinion. We've seen all sorts of things. Now, when those 3 young children tragically lost their lives in the area they did, one of the salient points was there was a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers, a lot of grandmothers, a lot of grandfathers came out because they were genuinely concerned about the fact that our kids are no longer safe. And then a lot of these things were hijacked by undesirables. Bricks were thrown, buildings were on fire, police were kicked in, there were all sorts of stuff going on. And it quickly got out of hand. And then we end up with garbage like this. There was racism there. Keir Starmer slams rioters who took to the streets following Southport child murders and warns of snake oil offered by resurgent far right in Europe. That's what they do when they get hold of the narrative. That is exactly what they do when they get hold of the narrative. Far right, the R word, where we don't want to see the problem. We don't want to admit there is a problem. And, we don't want to deal with it. And he sits there with his glasses and his ivory towers and says, we're not going to tolerate any of this. I mean, he went further, and I'll quote this. Keir Starmer blasted racist rioters who took to the streets after Southport and warned they would not dictate government policy. The Prime Minister says there was racism there when he was asked about the motives. In a BBC interview, the PM acknowledged that people have strong views on immigration, but he was not prepared to tolerate that sort of disorder. Now, tolerance is the word there, isn't it? You're not prepared to tolerate the disorder, so you just deal with it and throw everyone in prison. But why? Why are we getting that? There's a reason for it. You've got to acknowledge that there is a problem. You've got to acknowledge that you have to at least attempt to do something about it instead of going, go sit in prison. Yeah, done with you. It's no good. And people are just sick to the back teeth of it already. Now, I think that he's had a bit of a personality makeover. See what you think of this. I think he sacked his PR team.
Carsley said he's not going to sing the national anthem. We've seen the Telegraph calling for his sacking. I mean, where do you stand on that? Are you happy that he won't sing?
I will sing the national anthem, and we're having a fantastic reset of relations between Ireland and the UK. But the Taoiseach and I have already agreed that for 90 minutes we will suspend the reset. We'll put more energy into it afterwards because we'll be cheering on different sides. So I'll be singing the national anthem. What others do is really a matter for them.
So you're not concerned at all that the England manager will not sing God Save the King tonight?
I know what I'll be doing and I'll be singing it. I won't just be singing it, I'll be cheering the team on.
He is like that, wasn't he? He is talking through his teeth. That's the most falsely smile on you could ever see. That was the most insincere load of drivel I've ever seen in my life going on about the national anthem. He, there was a video out today I saw about the England manager, the new one, refusing to sing the national anthem. Sorry, but if you're in charge of the national side, be bloody patriotic and sing it. But, that video was really and totally insincere. It's like, oh, my face is going to crack. Oh, please. You know, and we're supposed to believe this. We're supposed to believe this. Nobody does anymore. That's the trouble. But there's a very concerning headline in that piece there. And it said about closer relations with the EU. You can see again where the direction of travel is heading. I voted for Brexit. I'm not afraid to admit that. And I have perfectly good reasons for it. I have no problem with Europe, but I have a problem with the European Union. And there seems to be a confusion between the two. One's a political arrangement and one's a bloody great continent with loads of lovely places to go and visit. That's why I did what I did, and I'm sure there were many other people too. And to try and go back on an arrangement like that, you know, where we all decided in our masses, nah, it's not great. Sylvia Spatman looks like a fish out of water to me. I think that's exactly what he is. And where was it in PMQs the other day? I think 5 times he called Rishi Sunak the Prime Minister. He don't even know what his own damn job is, does he? Yeah, interesting one that. But I think with the budget and everything else going on, we are going to have a few bits of trouble. Now, I keep looking at my phone because I'm very interested in seeing what's happening with the subscriber count right now. So let's have a look. 99,992 subscribers. So I literally need 8 more to get to 100,000. Wow. You think 4 years ago, I was just a little taxi driver sat in my garage gobbing off to a phone, and nobody knew who I was. Julie's just sent me a message saying, Andy, I think you might have hit 100K. Is there any way you can check while you're on the stream? Yeah, I am literally about 8 off, unless the numbers haven't updated properly. I don't know how you check it, Julie, but I check it through another mechanism. And it would be great if it passed that tonight while we're all talking, having that live. That would be wonderful. Wow. I need one more. 99,999. Literally, look. 99,999. One more subscriber. And we're there. So we'll check again in a few moments. But I was hoping that had happened. That would be great if we were all here together. And I crossed the line. I cross the line sometimes, quite often, actually. 100,000 showing now. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Let's have a look, shall we? You can tell I'm quite excited. It's a milestone that any YouTuber worth their salts wants to get to. Yes. I've done it. There you go. 100,006 subscribers. I've done it. I've done it. Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. See, you get a live reaction too. That is, oh, my God. 100,007. I'm speechless. You don't see that very often from a Gabby Cabby, do you? 4 years ago, I literally just had the airport business. And when everything happened, I'm going to do another live stream. Don't you worry about that, Julie. When everything happened as it did in 2020, and we all know what happened there, all of my business literally fell down. Wow. Thank you very much, Factual Breakdown, for the $100 super chat. Here's to 100 more. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, what, Maggie? Well done, well deserved. Thank you, everybody. The goat of YouTube, Scrooge Slime. Yeah, what happened? My business just fell on its arse. It just stopped. And I was left at home with my family thinking, what am I going to do? Because there's no way of making money. There's no way of, doing anything about this situation. And I became very frustrated as to what was going on. And I thought to myself, what can I do? Now, this actual YouTube channel I've had for a long, long, long time, a great number of years, actually, and I never really did anything with it. And I thought, I know, I'm going to start recording videos about current events and things like that I want to talk about. And it went from there. And I just carried on plugging away and plugging away and plugging away. And one day, I had that magic video and it just flew. I got subscriber after subscriber after subscriber, and it went absolutely nuts. I won't go into the full details of it, but those that have been with me long enough will know the who, the where, the why, the what, and the when. And it's crazy. And I sat there, and all of these people started coming to me all of a sudden. I thought to myself, I've got to carry on. I've got to carry on with this. And I did. And I've just plugged away. And all of you have come to me. We've all, where will you put your plaque? I haven't decided yet, Lord Jim Dandy. I haven't decided yet. All these people came to me, and it's such a wonderful community here. And, we talk and interact and all the rest of it. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And, I've got you to thank really for the support. It's, I'm absolutely touched beyond words. I really appreciate it all. I really do. And long may it continue. I've had detractors too. I've had fallings out with people in the background, but equally positively, I've made some wonderful friends who support me, and we support each other, and it all goes hand in hand. YouTube can be a funny thing, but it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, thank you all. Anyway, what I want to do now, Bloodnose has been doing his job in the background and lined up some of your comments. I just want to make sure I've finished I've finished up the lineup, so we'll have a look at the comments. But Mick Hardstaff has just made a comment right now, and I want to put this up on the screen here. Bring the Sainsbury's carrier bag back. Well, I'll tell you, Mick, this isn't Guinness, by the way. I tell you, Mick, I thought if I cross 100,000 this evening, I was going to do something just for you. The Sainsbury's carrier bag, a one-off guest appearance. There it is, just for you and anybody else that might have missed it. Now that used to hang on the back wall over there, and I thought I'd bring it out. I think we need to have a little competition as to what's going, what the contents is. Oi, oi. Yeah, people loved my Sainsbury's carrier bag for some reason, apart from those that thought I was sponsored by them. So there was a little bit of a background change. But yeah, let's have a look through some of these comments, shall we, and see where we are. Jean-Marc, you drinking anything at the moment, Andy? Yes, this. And it's literally just a soft drink. That's it. That's all we've got. Cosmic Auto, why is it wrong to say that women belong in the kitchen because they can't clean the rest of the house? Oh, Jesus. You could get yourself in all sorts of trouble for that these days, couldn't you? Absolutely. Rich Dean, I took a trip to Krakow, Poland to get a break from the diversity. I honestly didn't want to leave. I've heard this where some people have gone to other countries lately and thought, what the hell's going on in Britain? Or they've just gone. There's a lady who's in the channel at the moment that said the other day that they've moved to Portugal. It's absolutely brilliant compared with here. And I think people, if they got the means and, they've got the wherewithal, they probably will just go. I don't blame them. Screwed Slime. Hey, everyone. Good to see Andy back on the live. Massive milestone soon to be achieved. Very well deserved, my friend. Thank you. And you've been a great supporter of mine. I do appreciate that very much. Long may it continue. Factual breakdown. Andy, in the 4 years you've had the channel, the niche you have created is undeniably linked to politics. I have a conversation quite often with my father. I have conversations with other people. And I care very deeply about what happens to this country and very worried about its future. That's one of the things I like to do on this channel, is bring exposure to what happens really, and get people talking about it, because the mainstream doesn't. And there's a lot of people out there that still believe what the mainstream say. And that's no good, is it? No good. Richie reports we need to talk about politics more these days. The way you've got to think is they make decisions that we have no say over, or we don't have any say over. And we need to be aware of what they're doing, and we need to work out the true interpretation of what they're doing. And the only way to do that is to talk about it. And like it or not, politics is, something we have to talk about. Now, I went to a meeting, a good few weeks ago now. It was a meeting at a Reform Party, and it was like a little clique, top secret. And they were very worried about any possible outside interference. And when I look round, I'm 46. And when I look round, literally, I was the youngest person in the room. And I thought, where are the young people? Where, they need engaging. They need to get involved. Otherwise, nothing will change. Looby Lou, that's my eldest son's nickname. Can't we have another vote? Get him out. All Labour. Yeah, I wish we could. I think if the party is in a position where they believe that there could be a problem, maybe, just maybe, something like that could happen, but who knows? But this country has got trouble coming, I tell you. Michael Hancock, even Jeff Buys Cars talks politics. It affects all of our lives. And if you don't talk, I think you're happy. Exactly. Jeff Buys Cars, great guy. Spoke to him a bit in the background, and twice now we've tried to arrange to do a live stream together, and twice it's fallen on its arse. Once it was him, and once it was me. I'm sure at some point, sometime, we'll get there somehow. Flight is at FYI De Rover. I can't quite read that. I'm sorry. Charity should start at home, not helping the rest of the world. Yeah, what's the saying? You don't fix the barn doors after the horses come home. I think that's the saying. We need to sort our own act out. One very simple thing, driving along around the roads, and you're like this, da-dung. There's loads of things wrong here. Loads of things wrong here that need fixing before we throw money overseas. Richie reports, and now they aren't even talking about scrapping the 25% council discount for singing. Yeah, it will affect you. It will affect anybody that's a single occupant. It will affect anybody that's on their own that can't work for whatever reason. It will affect old people. It will affect the infirm. It will affect loads. It's almost as if anything they consider to be a drain on their system, they want to make life as difficult as possible. I have a friend that I've mentioned many times, never by name, but he needs a lot of help every month. And when the government start doing this sort of thing, it really is, it makes his life so much more difficult when it really needs to be. It's, awful for him, really awful. And it just creates a lot of mental stress, a lot of mental trouble. It's really not good. Andrew Russell, £22 billion back coal is a distraction. They just don't want to pay it. Simple as. Yeah, and also if you look at the national debt, what is it, 2 trillion, 3 trillion, something like that, and the interest payments alone, are absolutely crippling. You just can't make it up. It's like levels of debt that will never be repaid. It's not my children or my grandchildren that will be putting up with this. It'll be my great-great-grandchildren. Hell, I might not even be here. And, it's bad. Screwed Slime, this is arguably the best community on YouTube. Free from fart heads and sensibly moderated without any ego trips. Well, when you do this sort of thing, it's very difficult to run away with it and try and be something you're not. All right, I might get a bit excitable sometimes, but I try and just be me, and that's the key. And you say no fart heads. I love this sign that somebody sent me. Generally, we don't get those here, and when we do, they're escorted off the premises very quickly. That's a wonderful sign. There's another one there as well. I get sent all sorts. Only fools and horses. And no, I can't get those ones because my microphone and light will all fall over, but I'll show you them another time. Mick Hardstuff, Andy, did a lovely comment about you the other day. I spoke about how good and honest you've been since I first subscribed to you 4 years ago. I was number 557. Guess what happened? Mick, you're great. I really appreciate you. We spoke many times over the years, and I'm sorry. I generally am very sorry that a lot of your comments don't show up. I've tried fiddling with settings and stuff like that to alleviate it, but it's YouTube. I think you know that. It is frustrating, and I appreciate you are here and you do support me and the channel. It means a lot, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. Kathy, giving into unions and agreeing big wage increases must have been such a difficult decision and not inherited. I think people are stupid. Kathy, I'm going to cover that a little bit more because I did see a couple of bits about it when before I came on air. I was approached by somebody to do with BBC 5 Live. I got a message saying that they wanted me on their show to talk about these artificial intelligence cameras that are coming out. I don't think I'll be going anywhere near that. Thank you very much. It's the second time in the past couple of years I've had an approach from somebody from the BBC. I'm not quite sure about that. But there you go. If it was something else that wasn't so left-leaning, then I might consider it. But yeah. Angelica, waste of space, and one of the pensioners who is suffering. There you go. I just get the impression they're just trying to put the squeeze on. And I'd like to know why. I really would. Yeah, perfect example there, Ian 1, about where all the money's going. And they said, didn't they? They will do that again and again and again as long as it takes. And you've just got to look around some of our communities at some of our problems. It's nah. Penguin Overlord, Andy the Gabby Cabby, until election pledges and manifestos become legally binding contracts, I ain't voting. That and other issues I have. You know what, Penguin Overlord? I completely sympathise with you. If somebody stands in front of me and says, I'm going to do X, Y, Z for the betterment of you, I take you at your word that you're going to do X, Y, Z for the betterment of me. And then if you get in and you don't, you're a liar. You've lied to me. So why would I trust or believe any of your policies or anything going forward? We've had that with Labour. We've had that with Tories. We had that with so many other people, representatives over the years. It's untrue. So why should we believe anything they say? Reform went the other way and called it a contract with the people because they realised that the word manifesto is dirty. Nobody believes it. So they went the other way. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, I've done so much homework, so much reading. There's a guy that messages me in the background, actually, that sends me so many things about our history, our English history, emphasis on the English and where things changed in the background 200-300 years ago, where it's all been hijacked by this British idea and where it's gone. It's quite scary if you look back the way it used to be. and what we've got now. Music for truth, the working class will always be slaves until we get these toffs out. Too many people believe it. That's it. That's the trouble. We're so ingrained with, we believe it so much, don't we? This is the thing. Stuart Hawes, funny Starmer keeping news busy with this crap. And no one talks about the gender woke stuff in the schools, etc. Scotland now jails parents who go against it. Woke, Andy the Gabby Cab. Yeah, I mean, there's that. Is it Ireland? There's that teacher who refused to acknowledge, this, wouldn't say it, and was strictly boy, girl, man, woman, male, female, and the amount of trouble he's got in for sticking with his principles. Penguin Overlord, congratulations on 100,000 subs. Have a bag of chips on me. Thank you very much for the £10 super chat. I appreciate it. I'll probably have a bag of chips and maybe a beer too. Let's see. But thank you. That's great. Care Veritas. British people are too tolerant. That's the problem. We tolerate the annihilation of our country. That's insane. You know what? You look at France, right? The French, when they're pissed off, they let everybody know about it. They go mad and they won't stop until they get their own way. It's like an immediate effect, isn't it? But over here, we just take it and take it and take it and take it. But surely, and I'm not inciting here, I'm just stating fact. Doesn't everybody have their limits? Maybe. Screwed Slime, what's Keir Starmer's beef? Cares more for preventing the return of the death penalty than the safety of our children on our streets. Same goes for Sadiq Kant. Yeah, absolutely. I think treason might be in there somewhere. That's one offence that carried that. I mean, it was quickly done away with, wasn't it, by a previous incumbent. M17 DJT, we don't always agree, but at Civil Discourse, congratulations to every one of the 100,000. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. Lord Jim Dandy, £3 super sticker. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's the point, isn't it? I mean, I put something on my community page a day or two ago where there was a dickhead, basically, who wanted to be rude and abusive, and ended up in the end calling me a shameless grifter. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So I hung that on the wall of shame for everybody to have a pick at. But you either agree or you disagree, and you can do both civilly, can't you? It's really that straightforward. You've got a point. Come say it. Come say it. Joker's Muppet Masterclass, bags full of leftist tears. I think you have there. Absolutely. Absolutely. It might spring a leak. Kathy, you've spoken about reform recently. Do you know if the comments about them facing being expelled, if they talk about Tommy are, is that true? I don't have that inside scoop. I have a couple of contacts. I'll see what I can find out. I mean, they're trying to distance themselves from that, I think, aren't they? That situation with Tommy. They're trying to put a distinguishment between the right and a proper political party, and the way Tommy has been painted in the media, particularly Nigel Farage linking with him, it probably wouldn't look very good, would it? So I wonder if it's a particular move, but I'll see if I can find out. I've got a bit of a irritant in my eye here. I don't know why. Cosmic Wartoad. Yeah, I can read without my glasses. I don't think Parliament are taking any notice of the mood of the country, but even if they did, they wouldn't give a toss. No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you there. Yeah, my eye's going mad. I have this thing sometimes with my glasses where one of my eyes goes a bit nuts. Andy has a ULEZ camera in his bag. What, you mean one of the dismantled ones? I'm not a Blade Runner. Don't worry about that. West, what's with Paul Thorpe's? What do you mean, what's with Paul Thorpe's? I don't quite get that. Let me know. Let me know a bit more clarification. Jokes Muppet Masterclass, Roadrunner, Andy and his bag of tricks, Angle Grinder, anyone? No, I won't show you that. That's too stringy. I'll have to show you what's inside that bag of tricks one of these days. Kathy, how come the PM is still in post when Liz Truss only lasted 46 days? That was a fit up, that wasn't it, with Liz Truss? It just seemed like a chain of events. Again, where I've looked at the key players in all of this, where I've looked at how it goes, if you start with, say, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, now Keir Starmer, they all have something in common. I'm not going to say it, but they all have something in common. And go looking. There's a certain 3 letters which are very, very publicly available. Jean-Marc, oh my God, they're thinking of scrapping the council tax discount. You might well have 100 people living in your flat. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's crazy enough as it is the council tax. There's a lot of information out there now in the public domain about whether it's strictly kosher. Are we being spoon-fed? Is it, is it all it appears to be? And you have lawyers and that coming out saying, you've got to pay it, blah, blah. But their answer to all of this is put the council tax up. People won't be in any position to pay it any more than they would do otherwise. It's starting to look like the big racket it is. Cosmic War Toad, I reckon this Islamophobia, all a load of media fuel bollock. Well, was it Lee Anderson that stood up in Parliament and asked Labour to clarify what they actually meant by that term? And they couldn't. Throwing stuff around they don't know the meaning of. Spooky Spoon, it's the UN and the WEF. King Charles has approved it, and part of it, sadly. Yep, I mentioned the 3 prime ministers. That's another one. They all have something in common with each other. Declan, look at the money the UK gives away, but then take money away from the elderly for winter. Can't get my head around. Exactly. I mean, you look at the foreign aid budget, you look at where they're shelling out everywhere else, and they're saying that our pensioners are going to go cold and hungry. It's the whole heat or eat thing all over again, isn't it? Spooky Spoon, guys, please find time to learn the law with Richard Vobes. I hope you don't mind. No, not at all. Richard Vobes is great. He has an awful lot of guests on who look into different aspects of the law that we're possibly ignorant to. So some of it, I believe, is not entirely relevant. Is a polite way of saying it, but there's a majority of it where you listen to what his guests have to say, you think, hello, are we being done here over the years? I mean, Richard's fantastic. I mean, he's been demonetized as far as I know, which is an indication he might be getting a bit too close to the grain. It's a shame, and I hope he's able to appeal it and get remonetized at some point. We'll have to see what happens with him. Stuart, Andy has kept me going while I was in hospital, and right now keeps my mind busy as my old man passed away just Friday. My condolences, Stuart. I can't say too much, but I appreciate where you're coming from with that. I really do. And you've got to appreciate them while they're here. My condolences, and I'm glad that this channel, I'm glad that we've all provided a place for you to come, and we'll continue to do so. I know you you message me on Facebook and Instagram. I've seen your name pop up, but to be honest, and I'll tell this to everybody else, my main method of communication is email on this channel. But I do get loads and loads and loads. I do miss an awful lot of them. I kind of scan them and try and reply to some. I might have to try and find a way of getting more done. Woody 2015, the BBC is a waste on money. Yeah, It's a load of tosh, isn't it? Absolute load of tosh. Trevnac Adventures, it will cost me over £500 extra if they scrap the discount on the council tax, and £145 extra for electric. Yeah, you know that's coming as well, don't you? It's a cost of living disaster. And what they'll do, they'll turn around and say, well, to try and help the people that are hard done by, what we're going to do is introduce this benefit to assist you. So you're reliant on government handouts yet again. And what they're not telling you is that if they didn't cock it up in the first place, they wouldn't need to do. It's panic management. If they were in business, they'd be fired, all of them. Sob, why doesn't the Pope come out and say something about Christian victimization in Britain? He won't. He won't. Same reason none of them do. Lord Jim Dandy, Andy, glad you enjoy my jokes. If the Titanic had a lisp, would it have been on? Jesus. I knew you were going to say that even before I finished the sentence. It's a bit like the old one, isn't it? The Turkish baths are still full, or the swimming pool's still full after all these years. That's the other one that goes around, isn't it? Dino in the Tube, so many new channels now. News channels now, false, just edited for government to look good. Unfortunately, that is exactly correct. Exactly correct. Game Boy, do you think we are now paying the consequences of all the wars since? Yeah, it's a load of poor decision making, isn't it? Year after year after year, and eventually it will catch up. And that's exactly what's happened, I think. And we're starting to see the error of their ways and their poor choices. We really are. Jody, Starmer's had his chips, Andy. That much is certain. Yes, I agree with you. I totally agree with him. We'll see how long it lasts. And I appreciate your support, Jody. You've been with me a long time also. Gary Thornbury, did Starmer have a regular job before being PM? Well, he was, at one point, he was the head of the Crown Prosecution Service, and he's a lawyer. And, looking at the background of some of the cases he's been involved in and what's going on now, it isn't great. Not great. I do worry for this country. He's definitely like a fish out of water. Ian, the bank has dumped Liz Truss. That seems to be the thing, doesn't it? Did you see that public speaking thing she did where somebody sabotaged it and lowered a cabbage down or whatever it was down from the top? Who will last longer, Liz Truss or this cabbage? She wasn't impressed, was she? She had a hissy fit and walked off. Richie reports Paul Thorpe's okay, still doing videos, although he's putting disclaimers at the start and end. Yeah. He's not the only one I've seen do that. We're in a position, us as YouTubers, well, a lot of them are, where they seem to be scared of saying what they think, thinking that it bears consequences. So I tell you what, why don't I put a disclaimer at the start or end of my thing saying that I'm only giving an opinion, I'm not inciting anything. It is to cover their arse, basically. I don't blame them. I don't blame them in the slightest. And there's a way of saying things while still getting your point across. I mean, I've had many people say that I'm a bit short of the old grey matter upstairs. Believe me, I'm not. I wasn't always a cab driver, and that's a stereotype that we get, unfortunately. But I'm very choosy about what I say and how I say it, and I can still get my message across. Whereas other people, they just go right for the jugular and just say as it is, and that is where you can come a little bit of cropper, and that's where the disclaimers end up going up. As I say, I don't blame them in the slightest. Jody, Starmer has had Thatcher's portrait taken down. He's a first-class wimp. That was in the news, but didn't he backtrack on it? I don't know what the end result was of that. I thought he backtracked on it, but I might be wrong. I think Funky Prepper has been demonetised too. I haven't spoken to Funky Prepper for a while. I did an interview thing with him some time ago where he put it up, and I haven't spoken to him since. But it wouldn't surprise me, because he's another one that gets very close to the grain, and they don't like it. They don't like it and try and punish you and get shot of you. Michael Butcher, it's easy to get Labour out and the corporation government out. All we need to do is tell the King to rest Parliament. If he won't do that, we won't pay our tax and the whole country will fall. It's that easy. Yeah, I'd say you say about corporation, Michael. One of the things that a lot of people probably haven't done is, if you go on Companies House and you search up things like UK government, any council you care to mention, United Kingdom, anything of that nature, you will find it listed as a company on Companies House. So then it starts getting this thinking. Just saying, go do your homework. You probably have. Angela, good night, Andy. I knew you when you first started, one of your devotees. Absolutely, Angela. You've been with me for so long, and a channel member as well. I can see the little emblem on there. I appreciate you very much, and all your support you give me over the years. I can't remember. Give me a £9.99 super sticker. Very much appreciated. And for the support. Penguin Overlord tip, folks. Army, Navy and RAF surplus jumpers plus socks. Really warm and don't cost the earth. Absolutely. I was never in the armed forces. I only got as far as the cadets. I was going to join the Air Force. I actually ended up in the recruiting office when I was 16. But I went in the Army surplus and got a load of kit for when we went camping and all stuff. And I remember how warm it was. You're absolutely right. Jody Pitt, how is Jack, Andy? Yes, Jack, for those of you that don't know, is my youngest son. He's doing well. Just started secondary school last week. He's 11 years old now. Some of you remember when he was tiny, and he used to come in here and join in the live streams. But it went through a stage where I thought, this isn't the place for you. So I kind of backed him off from it. But I might let him put in an appearance here and there so you can see how he's doing. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. A couple more comments. Who have we got? Michael Hancock heard on the grapevine that Elon might buy YouTube. My God, that put the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't it? It really, really would. I mean, could you imagine the cost, the sheer cost? It must be billions, absolutely billions. Andy the Gabby Cabby, give everyone a laugh with the pic I've sent you. Let's have a quick look. I should go on my messenger. Julie, that's not work. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Yes. It's a YouTube plaque sat on a Sainsbury's carrier bag. Yes, I like it. I might post that on the community tab. YouTube. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's giving me a chuckle anyway. Lord Jim Dandy. Andy, what happened to the people filming channel arrivals? Yeah. Where I've been down to Dover, we've had a bit of a rearrange down there. It looks like it, because there were places where you could sit there quite easily and film what was going on, and you could see them coming, going, the coaches and everything else, and it was easy. It could all be catalogued. And then they moved the whole affair over to another part of the port. They put large fences up, threatened prosecutions for anybody that was going to sit there and film it. Now, I think there was only one lady that actually ended up with a proper press pass and was allowed to sit there and still do it. But what happened to her, I don't know. I really don't know. I was going to get someone on here, Lord Jim Dandy. You're absolutely right, and film an interview with them, but it's one thing that fell through. Well, that's it for another live session, everybody. Number one, thank you so much. We passed 100,000 while we were live. That's absolute fantastic timing, and I really appreciate everybody's support. Number two, I appreciate everybody's comments and joining in this evening. The first live for a long time. And I'm going to restart them again and get them going every Sunday because, you know, it's what it's all about, isn't it? I enjoy doing them, having a chat with you all. Number three, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button because YouTube likes that and pushes my stuff around here, there, and everywhere, and goes a long way. Share me on your socials if you can as well. I appreciate that, and all of my other content. When the 100,000 subscriber stuff kicks in with factual breakdown, I have been tipped off about that, and I won't forget it. Yeah, when all the 100,000 subscriber stuff kicks off and everything falls into place, I will do something at that point in time. I mean, this, you know, with YouTube, I've never cheated. I've never stepped on any toes. I've never bought anything that I'm not entitled to have. I've done it through purely hard work, and that is the only way you will build a YouTube channel. Anybody else that does anything else, not worth it. And it's more than obvious when you look at the views and likes and everything else as to whether it's genuine engagement. And I know that all of you are genuine engagement and genuine support. And I thank you all so much for it. Well, with that, I'm going to go. There'll be more content out tomorrow. Don't forget all the stuff I said about hitting, liking, and sharing and all that. And as always, I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.